safely.
Scoreline,
Do.
for my scoreline, I'm just thinking. I just think, to be honest, I might go for another 2-2 result. I'm not even going to joke around.
Man.
I'm not
You've
even
jinxed it.
Oh,
You've jinxed it.
no.
You've jinxed it.
I get told off for being on the phone to Alex Griffin, and then all this craziness comes. Fucking hell.
Alex Griffin's more important than this podcast.
The both are. I'm working with you.
You said it all now. Hey, Jack, that's it. Fine. I know where my priorities are.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Argyle Way. New video. We are back with another preview video, and this is Plymouth Argyle versus Ipswich Town. A very, very big game after the Portsmouth game last week. Very huge. We expect it to be another important game that all Plymouth fans should be saying. Hopefully, we win this game, but I think it'll be one of those games that could either be a draw or could go either way. But from all of them, we got Harvey England, we got Liam, and then we got Jack, and then we got a special guest on. We got Jacob representing Ipswich. Say hello.
Hello, guys. Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, brilliant. So it's always amazing to have a special guest on, anyways. But we'll go to you, Jacob, first, anyways, because this is always a match. It's like last year at the home park, we beat Ipswich 2-1, and I was at that game, and we played really well. But from this game, I expect this to be a very, very different from last time. Do you think that?
Yeah. So I think there's been quite a lot of upheaval at Town in the last year, really. Because I think it's about 11 months since that previous game, wasn't it? It was the end of October. So obviously we've had a managerial change since then. We're in a very different league position this time compared to what we were last year, with Kieran McKenna coming in. But yeah, I'd expect us to be a little bit stronger this year. But I also think Plymouth have improved as well. I mean, last year it was sort of on the edge of the playoffs. But again, what was it, third in the league now, and I think they're looking in that sort of batch along with Town, probably of that top sort of 3 or 4 sides, which could be going for the top 2, which neither team looked like doing last season. So yeah, I'm expecting it to be a really tough game.
Yeah, because it's always a very exciting game. Plymouth Argyle versus Ipswich. We always expect very tense games like the Portsmouth one last week, but mainly very, very loads of goals in the game. But the person who's I think you went to the game last year as well, didn't you, Harvey England?
Yeah, I went home last year.
Amazing atmosphere. The atmosphere
100%.
was absolutely incredible, and I think Ipswich brought a lot of fans themselves. I think they sold out the away end, didn't they?
Yeah, I think it was.
I remember.
Yeah,
we finished. I think we sold it out. I think sold it out minus about 200, and I think we've only got 2 blocks this year rather than 3, but that's probably to do with the fact that it's on the Sunday and it's on TV and it's halfway across the country. But it should still be for what we've got, it's still. And I think the tickets that are available are pretty much sold out.
Yeah, and Ipswich fans have got to get up at 3:30 in the morning for the coach.
Yeah, because it's
nasty. Thankfully, that's not me, but I definitely don't envy the people that will have to be doing that.
That's nasty. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, we've got to do it every single away game, because every single away game we're quite far. So
yeah, but
Chelsea when it was a 12:30 kickoff was horrible.
Oh yeah.
Now it's fine for me because to be fair, it's fine for me because I went up the day before, stayed overnight. So
yeah,
decent.
Yeah, but carrying on the conversation now, from last year's result, Harvey England, it was a very, very good win, 2-1 against the Ipswich side that we thought we conceded first, and then we brought back a goal with Jeffcott, and then scored. Connor Grant scored in the second half. But do you think that this time will be a lot more harder than last year?
I don't know. I think obviously both teams coming into it are in as of decent form, but Argyle are very hit and miss at the moment with their performances, I'd say. I think Portsmouth, our last game, if we play how we did in the first half against them, the game will be over before the second half begins. But saying that, we had a good win in the week against Swindon. Although it was a little cup, we saw Danny Mayer back, and we saw like the players like Houghton, getting 90 for like fitness and stuff. So having that, rotation available between players, obviously, as Randall's on a yellow. So will Shuey play him for the 90? Will Shuey start him? I think if anything he would, but no doubt if the game comes on and it's 60, 70th minute, I think he'd possibly bring him off. But I will go for an Argyle win because Argyle's going to batter him purely on the fact the departure of Panucci Kamara.
I think we're through in the EFL Trophy. What was in Carabao Cup? EFL Trophy.
We're through with the game to go.
Yeah, because I don't see who's the other team in our group?
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace under 23s, yeah.
And the other one.
Oh, Bristol Rovers.
Yeah, I don't see Bristol Rovers beating Palace, so we should be through.
Yeah.
We'll
go through.
We'll go through for sure.
I was thinking of going to the Palace game, but if we're going through, there's no point in me going. They're not wasting it. I'm not.
Yeah. Come on, it's a pizza trophy. Why do you even care?
It's a trip to Wembley, and it's more money to the club if we go far.
Yeah, fair. Yeah,
that's what you got to look at. That's what and we never do well in it. And now that we're finally doing well, we might as well just go.
You might as well use the opportunity whilst you're in this good form to try and go far in that trophy as well.
Yeah.
If you get
just out of interest, how are Ipswich soon? In it? Let me have a look.
They're top of League One, aren't they?
No, one about the Pizza Cup. Just having a look.
Yeah, so we've had 2 games so far. Beat Northampton, I think 6-0 in the first game, which was quite impressive. Beat Arsenal under 21s Tuesday night.
You did.
That's a good result.
We've got quite good. We have got much better squad depth this year. I mean, in terms of numbers, we've actually got fewer. But I think last year, because we had so many signings, I think we made 19 signings in the same window. It's a lot of squad churn. But it was very imbalanced in terms of we had a lot of attacking players, but not much defensive cover. Whereas this year, we've kind of gone for the 2 good players in each position approach, which is pretty sensible. So we're able to put out good teams in Pizza Cup. As well as this.
Is that not going to ruin like the squad morale between the squads though? Because if you have 2 players this that have the ability to be regular starters and they're only starting 1, that's going to cause an upset.
Yeah.
I think inevitably you will get some that kind of fall by the wayside. I mean, last season we had, for example, players like Scott Fraser came in, really good reputation from MK Dons. Raheem Harper from West Brom and Joe Pigott, who'd been, I think, not quite top scorer, but I think had about 20 goals in a Wimbledon team, which was really poor. So these were players, came in with expectations of being starters, and they'd all left by January, whether on loan or that Pigott left this summer. Sorry, they were all left, whether on loan or permanently. So you inevitably do get some players that kind of fall by the wayside. This year it's a bit harder to tell because I think McKenna's rotated quite well. I think 5 subs helps with that a lot. Because I think there's been a lot of criticism with the fact that it does benefit the clubs like ourselves who have more money and more resources at the level. But I'm not going to complain about that. The fact that we benefit from it and that it does make it much easier to keep the squad happy. In terms of the options we've got this weekend, though, we've got a couple on international duty. So Greg Lee, he got called up, but now has got an injury, I think, for a few months. But either way, he's not playing. And Wes Burns out wide, who also missed last year's game because he was ill on the morning of the match. So we'll have a cut. But again, we've got options in those positions now, which maybe last year we didn't. I mean, so last year it was a bit of a strange situation. We had Jano Danastian right back and Wes Burns right winger both fell ill on the morning of the game. So we had no right-sided players because Kane Vincent-Young, who wasn't in the squad, was still up in Suffolk, so there wasn't enough time to bring him down. And we ended up with Luke Wolfenden, the centre back, playing the right back, and then Hayden Coulson, who's not at the club anymore, but he was on loan, the left back, playing on the right wing. So it was all a bit makeshift, which, you know, hopefully we won't have this time, because we have got a much more balanced squad and have got those options. And I think we are keeping the squad happy at the moment. I mean, there's been no sort of talk of any risks, which usually in football nowadays, that kind of thing gets out, and it hasn't. So at the moment, it's looking positive.
You talked about money there. Sorry, Arv. You talked about money there. And Arv, I don't know if you want to speak about it, but I want to get off my chest now. Do you think Ipswich is money that they're sort of wasting it?
I think there are a few players that sort of last year we signed, which, you know, this were on big money, which didn't kind of work out. But I think in a lot of those cases, they're, you know, for example, Scott Fraser, who I mentioned, we bought him on big money, but by all accounts, the fee we got from Charlton 6 months later was the same, so we recouped what we spent. I think I have had sort of some worries. I think, again, more last season than this season, there was potentially a bit of overkill in terms of, not overkill, that's probably not the right word, but sort of overstocking players in certain positions. I think at one point we had 10 players competing for the front 4 positions, and it was all a bit much, and inevitably 3 or 4 left in January. But in terms of the budget that we've got, the ownership is sort of quite well, it's quite well resourced. But again, you know, we've got the attendances, you know, apart from Sheffield Wednesday and Derby, I think we've got the biggest attendances in the league. So inevitably we are going to sort of generate more money than a lot of clubs at the level. I think when you look at the league, there's almost 2 leagues in one, if you like. So you've got I think it was illustrated last week where you had Ipswich Sheffield Wednesday was a fixture on the same day as Forest Green against Morecambe in the same league. And, you know, they're just not in the same goal. You know, Plymouth probably fits somewhere in the middle of those two, but it's just not, you know, the resources kind of aren't the same, really. But I think there's potential for, I don't think we're kind of overspending more than what we can afford. But yeah, we are spending a lot of money.
Yeah. I only said that because on the fact that anyone knows me, the Panucci Kamara deal to Ipswich is the most confusing transfer deal I think that happened in the whole deadline, and I'll explain why. So if you come at this from a neutral, so bear in mind I'm not mad that Pan's left. Since I know he wasn't going to sign a new contract, I was happy. But if you look at it from a neutral, the player is injured, like he's unavailable to play. He's got a bad injury, but he somehow passed the medical at Ipswich. And then for someone who's got 8 months left on his contract to spend £500,000 plus add-ons, I'm pretty sure. Don't you think that's a big investment for a player which isn't going to be getting full 90 minutes at your club?
Yeah, I think I did when it came through. I mean, there had been a few whispers early on in the transfer window, but I think they'd never been sort of substantiated. It was more just sort of, okay, I think it might just be silly season. And it all came about quite quickly on transfer deadline day. Same with the other signing we made of Gaston Ahadme from Burton. But yeah, I mean, centre midfield is probably the position we're most well stocked. I mean, Sam Morsey, I think is, you know, you could definitely make a case for him being the best midfielder in the league. Lee Evans has started really well this season. Don Ball as well, played in Pizza Cup man of the match midweek. So, you know, it is probably the hardest position to get into in the team. And I remember on transfer deadline day, I didn't expect us to kind of add any players in that position. But from what, I mean, I've only seen, because of course he's not played for us yet because he has got this injury. I've only really seen bits of him play for Plymouth, you know, just your classic YouTube highlight reels. But I think, am I right in saying he's quite versatile in the sense that he can play centre mid and number 10 as well? I think that's because we've got a few, because number 10 is probably the position where we haven't got too many natural players. I mean, we've got strikers playing there. It's a bit of a sort of, the front three is a bit of a hybrid between 2 strikers and 1 attacking midfielder and the other way around.
Yeah, that's what
so I guess it's good for the versatility.
But
yeah, it is a lot of money to spend for someone who's not.
What I would say,
playing all the time.
what I would say about Patton, he's an amazing workhorse, and he'll work so hard. He'll play for the badge 100%, but his passing is so inconsistent. He cannot shoot. But he's a good player. He's a good player. That's what I will say.
Yeah, I do think there's potentially because we had last season, obviously Sam Morsey, he's one of those players who will, he does wind up opposition fans quite a lot, and he does, get a lot of yellow cards, and he had a 4-game suspension last year for an incident in the Accrington game, and when we signed him, we couldn't play him for 3 games because he's had a red card at Middlesbrough, and I do wonder if maybe, because I remember the two of them sort of scrapping at each other, going at it in the game at Home Park last season. I do wonder if maybe he's there. Potentially, you think that one of his best opportunities to get games is when Morsey inevitably gets suspended at some point. I mean, I'm sure he'll get opportunities before then, but I do wonder if that was a part of McKenna's thinking.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think he will definitely get game time at Ipswich. Because when he was at our club, I'm gonna say this with Liam as well. When he played for Plymouth, he would always put in 100% effort nearly every game, and you could see that, and he would always play for the badge. Like, I remember that Oxford game where he scored 2 goals. That was probably one of the best games I think I've seen him have. And then when he got the assist for the Hardy goal against Portsmouth, instantly won the ball and then pass it towards Hardy. Like, he's a powerhouse. He is a quick powerhouse player, and I think that's it's sad that we lost him though, but yeah, what can you do, really? What can you do? Simple as that. But what I'm going to talk about now is from last week's lineup. For Ipswich, they played against Sheffield Wednesday, 2-2 draw. But I'll obviously go quick on that as well. But what did you think of that result from last week?
So I watched a bit of that game. I watched all of it, and it was interesting. It was probably the first time where McKenna's set up specifically to frustrate an opposition. I mean, he's quite tactically flexible in the way that he does change personnel a lot to suit each opponent. But our entire our kind of strategy that game was sort of sit deep, frustrate, sort of dampen the atmosphere down, and it did work really well to start. I mean, he played Caden Jackson up front, who probably isn't our first choice striker, but is very quick, and he knows that Wednesday play a high line, and their defenders, aren't necessarily the best on the ball. And Jackson scored within 4 minutes.
Yeah.
We got a second goal again. Jackson putting pressure on Dominic Iorfa, scored an own goal. But I think from that point, going 2-0 ahead and getting back to a 2-2, you're never going to be happy, even if, before the game, you'd have probably thought, away at Wednesday, good result, better. We lost there last year, so that, again, that's an improvement.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is that McKenna made a formation change, which almost never happens. I mean, he brought Richard Keogh on, so sorry, not a formation change, just a sort of a big personnel change, sort of shifted a lot of players across positions, which we don't normally do. But I think what I would have probably done there in that situation is that we sort of invited the pressure on a little bit. I mean, we all know what Wednesday's midfield's like, particularly Barry Bannon.
Yeah, Barry Bannon.
I'd probably brought a third midfielder on, which was kind of where we were getting hit, and it was the first time I'd really seen the team kind of put us under pressure this season, and we did struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. I'm sure we'll go into this in more detail later, but I'd be interested to see what he does. And I've kind of got a bit of an idea of how we might set up on Sunday based on what happened last week, and also the lineup in the cup game midweek. But like I said, we'll probably go on to that.
For sure. Because I was gonna, because like Richard Keogh as well, 36 years old, crazy, really, and he used to play for Derby. There you go.
Yeah.
Derby.
Who would you say is your most feared players for opposition? Like, who would you say is players that Argyle should fear coming into this game? If you haven't mentioned it already.
I think I know I've mentioned before, but I think Sam Morsey, I just think he's brilliant. He's the difference that he makes. I think it's a little bit different now because we've got more strength and depth in midfield, but I think the thing that illustrated it most was we had a game at Oxford last season where he'd just come back from injury, so he wasn't fully fit. He came on, but after about an hour, and instantly, the game just completely switched. We were pressing sort of 10 yards further up the pitch, and sort of him winning the ball high up means that it creates space for other players. Lee Evans, who struggled a little bit at the start of last season, but has probably been the best player, probably been our best player this year. I think I was looking at the opposite, like one of the, those stat websites. I think he has the highest ratings of everybody in League One this season. But yeah, it kind of creates that space for him to play balls from sort of 10 yards deeper, and for us to push higher. So yeah, I'd say probably Morton Evans. I think the midfield battle is going to be really important, especially because the way that both teams set up in a similar formation. So yeah, I think midfield will be key.
Yeah, definitely. Because I could realise with that game as well, it would be like who will come out on top with formation and tactically. Because from what I see, I can see from Ipswich's lineup, it does look like Plymouth formation from what I can see. But well, I'll start off with the team lineup that you lined up with last week. So in goal, you had Walton. If I get these names wrong, very, very
Is
sorry.
that Christian Walton?
Christian
Yes.
Walton, yes.
Oh, he's ex-Argyle, isn't he? He had a spell at Argyle on loan.
Centre back, Donatian and Wolfenden and Edmondson. Midfielders, Burns, Evans, Morsey and Davis. Then Chaplin and John Jules, and then attacker Jackson. But from that lineup last week, would you say that? And I don't think is he on international duty? Burns, or was he?
Frustratingly, he didn't. So Wales had a game last night, but he didn't even make the squad, which is a bit frustrating because it means we're not going to be able to play him. But he's not. He's not even playing for Wales.
Oh my god.
Which is annoying. But so Burns won't be playing.
Mm-hmm.
So Burns will be playing. Out of the other players, as I mentioned, Greg Lee, who didn't start but came on. I think he played about 35 minutes. He had sort of played quite a big role in the game. He was called up and then got injured, so he won't be playing. In terms of the lineup this week, I wouldn't be surprised to see it be the same, except for I think Kane Vincent-Young will probably play the Wes Burns role. I mean, it's between him and Kyle Edwards, but I think with Vincent-Young having more, he is naturally a defender, and even though in our formation, especially out of possession, the right wing back pushes up very high, Vincent-Young kind of has more versatility, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him start the game than Kyle Edwards come on. I think with the attackers, that's probably the bit of our lineup every week that we're, when the team sheet comes out, we don't really know what's happening. So I think 7 or 8 of that team are kind of nailed on. Chaplin will play. I mean, I think he's still the top scorer in the league at the moment. He's had a really good start to the season.
Is that Connor Chaplin?
Connor Chaplin, yeah. And the other players, because Jackson has played every time we've played a sort of top 6 side away from home, whether that's Wednesday last week, and we also had a match at MK Dons last season when they did much better than they are now. And I think when we play teams who are expected to come at us, might leave a high line, he is an incredibly quick player, and I think I wouldn't be surprised to see him play with Tyrese John Jules, because they tend to play together. That's quite harsh on Marcus Harness. I mean, if I was picking the team, I probably would try and fit him in somewhere. Because he's scored, I think he's got 3 or 4 this season. I think it's 3 in the league and then 2 in the Papa John's Trophy. But what I said, quite a long-winded way of saying it, but I think apart from the enforced change with Burns, I wouldn't be surprised to see us unchanged.
Yeah, because I could say with Plymouth Argyle's lineup as well. I'll thread this as well with Harvey England and Liam. So we'll all talk about this one for the Argyle lineup. But last week we lined up with Cooper, Longwick, Scar, Gillespie, Edwards, Houghton, Butcher, Mumba, Azaz, Whitaker, and Hardy. But we will be without Azaz this week, which will be very, very interesting. And it's about who will be playing in this game. I think it'll probably be Niall Ennis. It'll probably be Niall Ennis. But for both of you two, though, what do you think the lineup will be for this week?
I think it'll stay the same, but I think Ryan Hardy get dropped for Ennis.
I think different. I think there'll be a few changes. But I think Gillespie will be dropped. His performance against Portsmouth wasn't the best. I think Mayer will come in Azaz's role, and then that won't be too much of a miss. Having Mayer back in the squad, we missed him at Portsmouth, you could tell. So having Mayer back in, then possibly bringing Randall for Houghton. Possibly. I think Randall's got a lot of heart for the side, and then, like you've both said, I'd definitely start Ennis. Ennis deserves his start. Yeah,
because it is a long time coming for Ennis. I don't know how many more games he has to perform in to get into the starting lineup. Like, I think in the past, I think it's 3 or 4 games now. He's bagged two goals, and I think he might have had an assist, if I'm sure, as well. But from the past 3 games, it just clearly shows that he does deserve to start games ahead of a poorly formed Ryan Hardy.
I was just saying, I've got to just jump in. I was going to say, does obviously now I don't watch as much as Plymouth as I do in my own team, but is Schumacher a little bit like McKenna in the way that he kind of unafraid to make changes based on the opposition? Because I was thinking, because I've noticed that obviously Sam Cosgrove has signed, because our defence, I was looking at some data the other day that our defence has sort of faced the fewest aerial duels in the league. I mean, that's partly to do with the fact that we dominate in possession a lot of the time, but our defence isn't, I mean, apart from Edmondson, it's not really the strongest defence aerially. So I think if I was managing Plymouth, I wouldn't be surprised. I would potentially look to bring him in there. I don't think he's as good of a player from what I've seen compared to someone like Hardy, who I'm quite a big fan of. But I think if that's I think I wouldn't be surprised to see him play at some point. That might be a way of exploiting.
Yeah,
I think
our weaknesses.
I think Shuey loves playing Hardy because he's been in a poor run of form for the past 6-7 games. But saying that, he did get a goal midweek, which I'm hoping might be his turnaround because, like you said, Jacob, he's an important player for Argyle. He scores goals. Last year, he was our top goal scorer with 20, 23, 24 odd goals. I know it was a 20-plus figure, but he just hasn't hit the ground running in the past, I'd say, 2-3 games. But yeah, he keeps Hardy in all the time. He's dropped Wilson, hasn't he, since his red card, which I think is a bit harsh because I think Wilson's one of our strongest defenders along with Scar.
Yeah,
I liked Wilson when he was at Town. I thought he was quite. I thought he was one of those players when we had that sort of big culling of the squad in 2021. Thought he was one of those players where they almost kind of got rid of him for the sake of it. So we've got Cameron Burgess, who is another one who's injured now, who was brought in for quite a big fee. I think it was about 700,000 or something. And he is a very good player, especially in the air. But I do want, sort of getting rid of Wilson on a free to bring in Burgess for a lot of money. Like, I'm not sure the difference in quality was worth the money. And I think he was, whenever he did play for us, he wasn't flashy, but he's, he kind of gets the job done. And I think for a lot of League One clubs, they'd sort of be happy to have him in the side, really.
Would I be right in saying that Wilson was like a fan favourite of Ipswich's? Would I be right in? Because that's what I read when we got him. He won like Fans Player of the Year or something, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he did. It was a bit of a strange one because the 2021 season, it was pretty dire, really. I mean, I think we only scored sort of 46 goals. I think that was it. It's 46 goals in 46 game season. It was really dire. We went sort of 6 games without scoring at some point. Fans wanted Lambert out, and Cook came in and sort of didn't really improve things. So there weren't really many candidates. I mean, he wasn't a particularly bad player. I think he did better in his first season. But I think the winning player of the year kind of thing wasn't particularly it was more sort of best of about bunch, really.
Yeah. Because that's the good thing about Wilson, I'd say, is that he's sort of, you could brand him as like a no-nonsense centre-back. He's one of them like olden but modern centre-backs where he's not scared of a challenge. Strikers are frightened of him. He's big, he's muscular.
Yeah.
He gets stuck in, he throws his body on the line. And that's when, I remember when we got him and I thought, he must be like, because he's a bit older, and he's like 29, I'd say, or like near his 30, something like that.
Yeah.
I think
Without
he's in his
doing any
30s now,
research.
yeah.
Yeah, and for a player like that, for a centre half, you'd sort of think, he's sort of, his career's sort of going towards the end. But I've been really shocked with him. Yeah, that's why I was proper surprised. But I'm a bit gutted he hasn't sort of hit the starting squad this last 2-3 games.
Yeah, for sure. Because he's because last season last season I thought he was one of our most important defenders last season, for sure.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah,
Definitely.
100%.
Because form-wise last season, we always knew if we didn't have any other defenders, we knew that Wilson would always be the type of player that would at least come in with a decent performance, nearly every game, which is what
when
you
we
want
signed
from a
him,
centre back.
Yeah, when we signed him, it was kind of like that anyway. I think it was our first. It was just after we'd been relegated. We had with the centre backs, we had Luke Chambers was our captain at the time, got sent off in our last championship game, so he's suspended, and we had another couple of injuries, so we only had one fit centre half. So we kind of had to get someone in last minute as a bit of a stopgap. And I think it was originally only like a sort of 3-month contract, but ended up coming into the team doing really well, and just ended up staying for a couple of years.
Yeah,
that season must have been like the worst ever for Ipswich for you as well, Jacob. Seeing them get relegated and Norwich bloody winning it as well.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no, there's plenty of feelings that I have about that season.
We had a bad season as well that season, so we can sympathise.
Yeah.
Well, I remember because I think it went down to the last game of the season, didn't it?
Yeah, we were.
Am I right in saying Plymouth had a bit of
down to League
sort of
Two,
catastrophic
Wimbledon.
fall down the table?
Yeah, no.
So I was quite looking forward to an away day at Home Park, but obviously you didn't even get that as sort of compensation for getting relegated.
It was on goal difference as well. No, we went down. Wimbledon just survived, and Southend got a win on the last game, and that's what survives them as well. And that's why we went down. But no, I was going to ask you. In itself, I've seen that Ipswich have going back to when we were talking about Panucci Kamara, and it adds to the squad in depth for them. Obviously, pains me to say that because I'm gutted he's gone still. But obviously, you've signed Marcus Harness from Pompey as well, so that also gives you that extra squad in depth in terms of that as well.
Yeah, I think the thing with Harness that I think is really, really important is that last season we were creating crazy amount of chances but not converting them, and I think he's kind of come into the role that Bertrand Celina was doing. He was capable of incredible. So I don't know if any of you saw his goal against Crewe last season.
Yeah,
which is an incredible goal. He's capable of doing things like that. But he didn't necessarily have the end product all the time. His goal and assist numbers weren't great considering how much money he was on and all of that, and what we were investing in him. The Harness isn't as much of a creator, but he's more direct. So he's much more clinical and much better at finishing those chances. Like I said, he's got 3 goals already, two in the Papa Johns, and he had a goal against Barnsley as well, which was ruled out, which shouldn't have been. So he is, and again, taking a player off Portsmouth as a promotion rival. I know they've sort of strengthened, so maybe they don't necessarily need him, but yeah, really pleased with Harness so far.
Yeah.
Nah, fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
Is there we've got Finn Azaz not playing on Sunday because of international break with Ireland on Sunday, and that's why he's missing. Is there anyone for our team coming Sunday that you think you're quite concerned about for Ipswich?
I've always been a fan of Ryan Hardy. I mean, I know what you're saying, his form's not been great, and got a goal midweek, but I was I was gonna say, to sort of bring it back, to Ipswich, I guess. When we were in the market for sort of 2 or 3 strikers in the summer because, you know, all of ours were sort of misfiring at various points last season. And I did wonder if maybe Hardy was the sort of player that we might try and go in for in terms of, you know, it's a kind of striker that I think would have actually fitted quite well into a McKenna system. I think the wing backs as well are good players. You know, Bali Mumba, even though he's a Norwich loanee.
No, he's been phenomenal. He's been phenomenal for us.
Versatile player as well, isn't he? Because I mean, he's playing wing back, but had that experience at centre midfield as well. So I'd probably pick out those two. I like Cooper as well, the goalkeeper. I mean, I think probably on Sunday, probably the two Town and Argyle probably got the 2 best keepers in the league. I think.
Yeah.
Argyle's got the best keeper though. Mike Cooper clear.
We all knew that anyway.
I still rate Walton, though. I still rate Walton, but not as much as Cooper, I'm afraid.
To be honest, I think with Walton, it's crazy that nobody in a high division picked him up. I mean, he'd had I think two years in the Championship before, one with Wigan, one with Blackburn, and weirdly he was kind of stuck in I think he was sort of second choice maybe at Brighton, but he didn't get a loan move the season before he got him, which I think might be the reason why he kind of became available. But yeah, he's just been incredible. I think last season, so we got him on deadline day last summer, and Hladky, who's our second choice keeper now, we got him in from Salford, and he was very highly rated. I think he'd won. He was in the League Two team the season before, but you know, just had a really bad start to the season. Really bad start to the season, and you know, I think again, I remember hearing something about the data. He had the worst sort of, you know, if you want to go into XG, things like that, he had the worst sort of expected, you know, the ratio of sort of saves to XG or whatever it is, in the whole league. And I think it was a bit of a panic. Well, not panic, you know, because it worked out, but you know, it wasn't the intention to get Walton, I don't think, once we had got Hladky in the door. But I'm very glad that we have, because I think Walton's brilliant. I think he is a very calming influence in the defence, and you know, he's barely made any mistakes really. You know, 1 or 2, but we'd had a few years, I think, since Biakowski left when we were in the Championship. We'd had 3 years of sort of goalkeepers that were just, you know, like they were okay, but you never felt that confident. And with Walton, I just really, you know, it couldn't be any more different really. And I'm really happy that he's here, and I'm surprised that no club from higher up kind of went for him. I think Luton did in the January transfer window, but by that point he was kind of already settled here, and he'd had a lot of loan moves. And I think his interview afterwards, he was pointing out that he'd had so many moves away from Brighton, it's more beneficial to kind of stay at a club longer term, even if that did mean sort of potentially dropping down a division.
Yeah, exactly.
And
is there anyone for Ipswich that we should worry about on Sunday?
I already asked that.
Oh
yeah, we've gone through.
I was probably off ball.
Yeah,
no, that's right. I would say Morty Evans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's all done. No, I was on an important phone call as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's also why.
Even more important than this.
No. It's just adrenaline. It was just adrenaline and heat of the moment. So I looked at it. I was like, I don't know what the hell am I meant to do at this moment. I'm on a bloody Zoom call, but I was like, I'll make this quick.
Yeah. And
what are you on about?
Oh, wait, what did you say then?
What was you on about then? I wasn't listening.
Oh, here we go. Here's another one.
Hell.
Two just live tonight.
Mate, have you got bloody earmuffs on? Goodness me. It's
Yeah,
not headphones,
Jack,
it's earmuffs.
Jack was just on about how he ditched the poddy for a important
phone call.
Wow, fair enough.
Yeah, sorry.
But speaking on about the Ipswich Town side, before we go on to the predicted scoreline, I just realised that I saw a player that's still at Ipswich is Sonny Aluko.
Yes, he's out injured unfortunately at the moment. So I think that was in the first round of the Papa John's Trophy. He was injured, but again, he was one of those players in that big squad churn who, when he came in, because we had a lot of players in attacking positions, we were a bit like, really, do we need him? You know, didn't have a very good goal record at Reading. But, you know, when he came in, I think he offered us something that not many other players could do. He's quite a good player to bring on stick in that sort of number 10 or even in central midfield sometimes, just control the game, slow it down.
And he's got experience.
Yeah, he has. I think like I said, we're a bit more sort of fast paced now with players like Harness. But I do think there aren't many players that can do what Aluko can do in terms of slowing the game down. But yeah, overall he has been quite a positive addition, because it was, like I said, it was only a 1-year contract, so I think it was sort of seen as a stopgap, but has ended up having another year. And I think he's 33, 34 now, so
he's 33.
He's the sort of age where maybe you kind of would have looked to get rid, but he has done well, and hopefully he'll be back probably around January, but hopefully before then.
Yeah, and if Liam and Harvey England is here, or if they end up eventually coming back, but
I am here.
Okay, good. So we'll go through the predicted scores for the game. So we'll start from Liam all the way down to Jack. So we'll go for you, Liam, first.
I'm gonna go 2-0 to Argyle.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now we'll go for Jacob next.
Well, so I was looking at the records before. So I've seen Argyle haven't conceded and have won all the home games. Is that right?
Yes.
So we're unbeaten away. So one of those things will have to end.
We're not unbeaten away because our away record is always dreadful. No, carry on.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that's the thing. I wonder if the geography kind of plays a bit of a part in that. But I'm going to stay on the fence. I'm going to say 1-1.
Do you know what? I do kind of.
I mean, to be honest, you guys would take the point. Well, I don't think we would. Personally.
No, they would definitely take a point.
They'll definitely take
the
a
home
point.
park.
100%. Yeah.
If it was at Portman Road, it'd be the opposite.
It would be a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Harvey England next.
3-0 Argyle.
Come on.
Hey, go on. He's got the big ball.
Hey, what did I say last time?
Spectacles firmly on there.
Oh, what did I say last time? Trust the process. I said it with Exeter Burton, and what happened?
Yeah, exactly.
One day I'll get it right. One day it'll be 3-0.
Yeah, but next, Jack.
I'm obviously going to go for a home win. I'm just thinking the scoreline. There'll be goals, won't there? But all right, I'm going to go Plymouth 4, Ipswich 1.
Bloody hell!
All right, no moan at me.
Okay.
I mean, one thing I will say is,
okay. If I do experience that bloody scoreline, oh my! I don't know what I would do, to be honest. I think I'll just be running around home park for 2 hours straight.
To be honest, given our defensive record, I'd be highly surprised to see us let him fall. But I'm going to the game Sunday, and I have an awful record of seeing us lose in live games.
I assume you're gonna buy train, or
I think I'm driving up, but.
Oh, that's nasty. That's minging.
I don't know what to say.
I'd hate to be you, mate. I'd hate to be you.
Goodness me. But
the road trip,
drive safely, mate. Drive safely.
Scoreline. For my scoreline, I just think. To be honest, I might go for another 2-2 result. I'm not even going to joke around. I'm not even.
Jinxed it. You jinxed it.
No.
You've jinxed it. It's going to be 94th minute with limbs in the away end now. I can see it.
No, it'll be us getting the limbs. It'll be us
I still haven't
getting the limbs.
We can't afford a 2-2 draw on Sunday. Pompey fans are gonna go increasingly happy. The man with the bell will ring and from his living room on Sunday, going, "Oh my days, we've won the league already."
Mate, we're ringing the bell at Argyle. We'll hear it from down there.
And plus, they celebrate like they won the league.
He's actually banned from Portman Road. That chap with the bell. Yeah,
he's banned from
story about him, like standing on the roof or something. But he's banned. He's not allowed. He's not allowed.
He's banned from Wembley, isn't he, for his own safety? Yeah, genuine. He's banned from Wembley for his own safety. Because last time he went there, Southampton fans went up to him and stuff. So he's banned.
Oh my god!
I think that's better of all of that though. Like he had people run up to him, but he can't do anything about it because he's literally tattooed him.
Security risk. Yeah.
I
So-
don't know why people just go up to him and go, "Give us that bell, mate!" Bang.
Yeah, no, I think that's what they tried doing. I think they tried like, taking his bell and that, and then it just caused a massive scene.
Oh my god.
Bless him. Well, not
Oh,
bless
bless
him.
Bless.
Bless him.
Nah, that's quite sad, man. If I was banned from
No, it's
Wembley
not.
for life, if I was banned from
What?
Wembley for
How
life,
crazy is this call gone?
follow him.
honestly?
We're,
home
I
team.
think,
What's-
one of
what
about
has this turned
7
into?
Football League clubs that still haven't been. So I've effectively been banned without being
Yeah.
banned. So
So why is he not banned at? So why is he not banned at Fratton Park again? Is it because they love him there? Oh, bless. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course
come on,
it.
mate, it's his home team. They're not going to ban him from his home stadium. That's like us banning Pieface again.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, after me saying that tier, that's gonna be the intro for sure. That's gonna be the intro.
Yeah, Pieface got banned, then he got unbanned.
Yeah, it's
Well, yeah, he
Yeah.
got banned for kicking down a sign though. Like, he
What sign?
banned
What?
stadium.
What against his sign? Boom.
No, I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it was like it was one of them like billboard things that they had, and he like kicked it down and stuff, and then he was banned for 3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
we can
That's
edit
gone
this
quick.
bit out. I get told off for being on the phone to Alex Griffin, and then all this craziness comes. Fucking hell.
Alex Griffin's more important than this podcast.
The both are.
You said-
I'm
no, you said it all
I'm
now.
working with you.
You said it all now. Hey, Jack, that's it. Fine. I know where my priorities are. I know
I'm
my
working
priorities.
with you Sunday. That's drawing level. That is.
FIFA
Come on.
23 web app has just come out. I need trading to do, but no, I still jump on this podcast. And then there's you.
Oh, multitasking. That's
Nope.
what makes everyone happy, bro.
No, I'm disappointed. I can't
Unbelievable, Jack.
can't even look at you, Jack, mate. I'm disappointed. Disappointed.
Fucking
Oh
hell.
no. Oh god, mate.
Unbelievable.
Harvey, you
I
should
don't-
do a long. Harvey, you should do a long intro, mate, just for the funny
No,
clip.
I don't know what intro to use now. I don't know what intro to use.
Disappointed.
Unbelievable.
Talk to the hand, mate. Talk to the hand. It's not happening.
You had the chance to talk to him and you didn't. So I went when
Hey.
he rang me, I was like, I've got to do this just to boost.
Argyle comes
I'm
first.
helping you lot.
Argyle comes first. Always.
I'm helping you lot. I'm trying to make us big.
No.
What does he say?
Yeah, do you know
Does he
what?
say? What does he say anyway? Does he say anything nice?
I'll let you know on the chat tonight.
Alright,
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
I don't want to know, mate. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. If it ain't Argyle, I don't care.
Damn it, mate.
Right.
Moving on.
Goodness me. Oh, I need
So
to
whatever
keep it
I
all
do
together
now
now.
to defeat, brilliant.
Oh, I need to keep it all together.
Severely disappointed.
I'm
after
buying
all
you a
the
drink
chaos-
next month for your birthday, and this is the way. This is what I get in return.
Hey, it's only right. It's only right.
Oh.
That'll don't worry, it'll all be fine. It'll all be
Literal
fine. Don't worry
tears.
about it.
Nah. Secretly, we hate each other now.
Not mad, just disappointed. Very disappointed.
Fair play.
Yeah, fair play. But
Them ones hit different.
after all that chaos, I think it's perfectly time to move on to the match week 11 predictions with Jack. If there's new viewers in this to this channel for the predictions, we go through all of the matches through the match week, and then we get our scoreline predictions for each game, and then Jack goes through every single game through the week. But for this week, I think there's like 4 games that's
4 games have
off.
been postponed. Yeah.
4 games have been
Portsmouth
postponed.
Bolton is off. Lincoln
Yeah.
MK Dons is off. Oxford Fleetwood is off, and Derby Cheltenham is off.
Damn
Jack,
it.
you sure
Presumably
you can?
those call-ups have come from Derby rather than Cheltenham.
Yeah. 100%. Jack, you sure you can do like say the teams out loud before hopping onto the phone with your best mate Alex? You can get through them all.
Oh, I got the scores. Scores. I got the fixtures right here, so I could share screen. it.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, go on.
Phone. It's the phone. Sorry, I've got to go.
Go for it. You do what you need to do. Everyone has a life at the end of the day.
Oi, do you know what? Let me try. Have you got FOTMob up? Because that's the best app to
Oh
go
yeah,
for.
you showed me that last time, didn't you? Yeah. No, I'll.
Do you want me
I'll
to try and get
now.
it up quick? I've got it.
You've got it.
Harvey's more reliable.
if you want a
More reliable
cheap and
source.
reliable source to get all the league matches, go on to football.
Yeah.
No, we're not shouting out. We're not like that. I'm not any FIFA YouTuber. I'm not a FIFA YouTuber. Oh, don't mess up with the internet. Good. There we go.
I was gonna say you're not AJ3 where you go. This video is sponsored by FootMob. Yeah,
Oh, so don't even start, please. Please don't even start. Okay, so
Shit, we win. We have the chance to go top of the league.
I said that the other day, mate.
Yeah, we do because
Yeah,
because Pompey
Aren't playing.
wow, look how amazing that is. That was so sarcastic. All right, so
can I just say before we go through the predictions, and I said this on the group chat earlier, and I may as well say it right now before we get going. I just wanted to point out. Oh, where is it? My message earlier. Where is it? Come on. Okay. Could you imagine waking up tomorrow, remembering you're going to watch a tin pot vegan club play a red and white team who think they're the biggest club in the far southwest? What a dire fixture, honestly.
We'll go for it anyways. No, not worry about it.
Forest Green, Exeter.
All right. We will click on that. There we go.
And then
I don't even want to say a prediction for this one.
Yeah.
Imagine if Forest Green win, Exeter will probably break the barriers or something, their fans and stuff.
Yeah.
No one what they're like.
Would you like me to give mine first?
Yeah, no, go
Yeah,
for it.
go on.
Yours is the
I'm going
most
to immediately
neutral, I'd
make
say.
myself unpopular and predict next to win on a Plymouth channel. I just don't think. I mean, you know, Exeter aren't doing as well as they maybe did at the start of the season, but I just think Forest Green are really poor.
Well, if they don't win this, can we just relegate them already?
Well, get him off. Get him off. He's saying an Exeter win. Get him off.
Yeah, I know it's terrible. Yeah, I'd probably go for. Well, they both got Exeter defence in grade. I'll go 2-1 Exeter.
Get him off. Get him off.
Yeah, I'll get booed off.
No.
I'll get booed off. Harvey, you got to put a sound effect in now.
Boo.
Or just find a clip on YouTube and it's just your shit.
We need to get
I've got one of them on my phone, to be fair.
Yeah. But for my predicted scoreline, I think I'm gonna say Forest Green 2-0. I'm going for it. I'm going to say the most boring 0-0 draw ever, so all the fans have a shit day.
You know what? I was going to say 0-0 as well, Harv.
Oh,
I heard, because we had them first away game of the season, I've heard reviews of the ground and it's very badly located. It's quite difficult to make an atmosphere. I saw on Alex Griffin's video actually, because the terrace is just all across the side of the pitch, like lengthways. And it's not very deep. I think there's only about sort of 6 or 7 people rows up sort of on the terrace, and everything's so thinly spread out. It's quite hard to create an atmosphere.
Look at that. Then we got top scorers. We got head to head as well.
Can we get off this? Can we get off this match? Like rapid?
Yeah, we need to get off this now before I end up getting myself.
What's Liam going with?
Oh yeah, what are you going with, Liam?
I'm going 1-1.
1-1. You know what, fellas? So both teams have a shit day. Let's go. But next game, Barnsley. So Barnsley in the previous that's the previous 5 games for Barnsley, and then the previous 5 games for Charlton.
I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bye. And then
I'm not saying bye to that after the reception I got.
Okay. Barnsley are 6th and Charlton are 14th, and then the previous games against each other: 2-1 Charlton, 2-2 Barnsley, 2-1 and 2-2 Barnsley, 2-2 2-1 Barnsley, and then 2-0 Charlton. So what do you think this scoreline will be?
I hope, well, to be honest, I'm going for a Barnsley win, and plus I hope they win because I got them on a bet this weekend. Knowing them,
every weekend.
You do it every weekend.
No, I don't. I don't do Barnsley every weekend, mate.
No. I mean, like you say you want a certain team to win just because you got a bet on it.
How many times do you bet? You're gonna be on an overdraft soon. All right. So what did you say, Liam? I'm gonna go.
I'm going to go 2-0 Barnsley.
2-0 Barnsley. Okay. Nice. 2-0 Barnsley. Then Jack.
That's a tricky one again.
Just bear in mind they drew to Fleetwood.
They did.
Yeah,
and I
true,
got that
actually.
right as well, which I'm still ecstatic about.
Yep.
They are on form though at the moment, aren't they, Barnsley?
Yeah, they're in good form.
Yes.
Knowing my luck though, I'll predict a Barnsley win and then I'll suddenly go off form tomorrow.
Yeah, they probably will because I betted on them, mate. That's the way
I'm
it
going to
goes.
say...
I'm saying 1-0 Barnsley.
I'm going to say Barnsley 3, Charlton 2. I think it'll be a tight one.
Oh, it could be one of those games you're saying. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
I'm going to say Barnsley 1-0 as well. Charlton aren't very good away. Barnsley aren't very good at home, but Barnsley's form in general is improving, with Charlton's kind of stuttering a little bit. They started off quite well based on the sort of small sample size of 3 or 4 games. They look quite impressive. Probably less so since, was Barnsley the other way around. Obviously they've had their good win at Wednesday, did well against Cambridge. So yeah, Barnsley 1-0, but like I said, it's at Oakwell, so that's not where they've been sort of having their good performances. But yeah, just purely more probably based on Charlton than anything. I think Barnsley will just edge it.
Yeah, definitely. But we'll talk about the result of Harvey England in a minute. We'll get his predicted scoreline. But next
Bristol Rovers.
Yep. Bristol Rovers versus Accrington Stanley.
Return as a Mac.
Yep.
Here he is. He's back.
Yep. He's back just as we say it. Head to head.
How was your phone call, Harv?
Stanley. Oh my.
Hey, there was no phone call, mate. It was just a quick toilet break.
Fair enough. Fair play.
But what's your predicted scoreline for Barnsley versus Charlton?
I'll go with is Barnsley home?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll go with a draw for that one. I think I'll go for a draw.
1-1 draw.
Yeah. What did everyone else say?
I said 1-0.
3-2 Barnsley.
3-2. Yeah.
Oh, you going with Barnsley wins?
Yeah.
Yeah. In that case, I'll go with 1-1 draw.
Yeah. Fair.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. But next match, Bristol Rovers versus Accrington Stanley. Look at the head-to-head. Accrington Stanley 9 wins. Bristol Rovers 2.
High scoring games.
Yep. Yeah, literally high scoring games. Crazy. But the last 5 games, Bristol Rovers 3 losses, 2 draws.
Hey, what's that 4th one down say? Sorry. It wasn't 5-4. It's 1-1 with. Oh, it doesn't say pens.
Oh, it's penalty. Yeah, it's pens. That's why. But
doesn't matter. We still won.
Yep. But for this one, I think. Why do I feel like it's going to be a draw, or Accrington Stanley could edge it?
I'm thinking that as well.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Accrington Stanley win. I'll go with 2-0 Stanley.
2-0 Stanley. Yeah. Fair.
I'm going to go 2-1 Stanley.
2-0 Accrington Stanley. I'm going to go for. All right. So I'll put Liam down first. So 2-0 Accrington.
No, 2-1.
2-1. Sorry.
Oh, get it right, Harv.
So I'm going to lose my job again, boys.
I'm going to lose my job.
What did you say, Harvey England again? Because I'm going to lose my job soon.
Oh, I said 2-0 Stanley.
That clip's got to go in. I'm going to lose my job.
I can't wait for when this gets uploaded. All 4 of us are going to get absolutely violated.
We're all going to get pulverized. We're all going to get pulverized, except for Liam, actually.
Yep.
I'm going to go for a 2-2 for this one.
Ooh.
I think they're both quite poor again. I mean, Rovers have a bit of an injury crisis at the back. They had a red card against us, I think, and a couple of injuries as well. Accrington are much weaker than they were last year. Obviously Colby Bishop's gone. I can't remember his name. That big centre back Sykes isn't there. Harry Pell as well. That's kind of the spine of their team.
Yeah,
They didn't look as good. We won 2-0 there, and that's been a fixture. Which I think before that
Well,
we've
at
lost
least-
3 of our last 4 games there.
Well, at least it gives us motivation to battle our own park. That'd be good.
exactly.
Yeah,
what
but
did
they're
you
just
say,
not-
Jack? What did you say, Jack, for the scoreline?
I'm gonna say a 1-1 draw. I reckon this will be one of them where I think this will be one of those games where people expect it to be like a goal fest between 2 teams that are struggling at the moment, and then watch it just be like a 1-1 or 0-0 draw. So I'm gonna go 1-1.
Yeah. Do you know what? I do kind of agree with you on that.
And I went 0-0 for Forest Green Exeter because also they played each other last season. They've played each other for quite a while lately. So yeah, 0-0.
Yeah. Next game, Morecambe versus Cambridge.
Oh, that's actually. I know Morecambe have been poor, but that's
yeah.
much tougher.
I'm gonna say 2-0 Cambridge.
2-0 Cambridge. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, look at the head-to-head. 5 wins, 3 draws, 8 wins.
Sorry, can you scroll up? Was that 10? Oh, 10-9. I thought it said 10-0 on Morecambe's recent scores. I was like, blimey, I missed that one. But presumably that's a penalty shootout as well.
Yeah, that's me. Did you say
10-9. How cap are the goalies?
how cack is the defence? Did you say 2-0, Liam?
Yeah, mate.
2-0 Cambridge.
I mean, it's Everton. They've had cat goalies since Tim Howard anyway.
Yeah. Except Begovic. I don't know.
Pickford's only good for England.
Oh, exactly. For when he's at Everton, he just turns into a T-Rex. Little arms. Little arms, basically. But
Had some stellar performances for Everton, though.
Yeah.
I remember his one against Chelsea last season.
So he turns into a damage Traore then. Little arms.
Little arms, yeah. No, he's grease bag.
Baby oil arms, yeah.
Baby oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like on FIFA when you go to tackle him. It's like I can't tackle him.
No, because he just slips through you. I'm going 4-0 Cambridge.
Flip it, bloody hell, 4-0.
Yeah, I know. I'm going for it. I'm going for it this time.
I'm going for a surprise. I'm gonna go 2-1 Morecambe.
Oh, here we go. This is where he gets it right.
This is very disgusting.
3-0 Morecambe. 3-0 Morecambe. Trust the process.
Oh my.
Trust it.
I think everybody will be deafened by that now because that came through very loud.
Exactly. I wanted everyone to hear.
Whoever gets the Morecambe result right, you're so fraudulent. You're so fraudulent.
Oh, now you know how it feels to be so loud. It feels great, doesn't it?
Yeah, for his classmates.
Jack
I've
said
watched it.
2-1, right, didn't he?
2-1
Yeah.
Morecambe, yeah.
I watched your blog, by the way, Jack. It was very good.
Was it? I was swearing my lungs off at the referee.
Yeah.
Mate, it was so great.
Beeping it out every time.
Mate, it was so great. It's amazing. This is. What do you think about this one then? Peterborough
Come on,
versus
Port Vale. Get a surprise and just make Posh's losing run even more. It'd be so
To be honest,
fun.
look at Port Vale's previous results, and then look at Peterborough's. Peterborough. Well, this is their first win in 6 in all competitions.
I'll take that though because it's against Tottenham, so that's always a good day.
Yeah, but then if you go to head, Peterborough 3 wins, 3 draws, and 2 wins, which is crazy. But for this one, I'm not sure because there could be either Peterborough who need to get a win in the league, and then there's Port Vale that could keep on going on with their amazing unbeaten run. So I don't know what to say.
I don't know if I can see another Fleetwood result at home for Peterborough.
No.
Would be.
I think that one's a home win. Go 2-1.
2-1. Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna go 2-0 Peterborough.
2-0 Peterborough.
Yeah.
Liam would anyway because he's got Posh to win the league this season in a bet.
we need them to win more games, please.
I remember that from the last video we did with Callum from Pompey.
Yeah, it's
Stop
not
losing games, please.
No.
But
it's between Ipswich and Wednesday to win the league, to be honest.
No, we're there as well. Trust the process.
Trust the process. Yes, I'm
You
going.
can't say trust the process. You man can't say it. That's my tune.
Well, I'm the definition of postmodernism, so that's why I thought I'd borrow it and reuse it.
I'm gonna go for 2-1 Port Vale. I'm going for it. I'll go with 2-0 Peterborough. 2-0 Peterborough. Yeah.
2-0.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Wait. Harv, if you scroll down a little bit on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, don't show it.
What?
Always going to show the Argyle score.
Oh, the Argyle score.
Just wanted to show the Argyle score.
Yeah. But I said 2-1 Port Vale. But well, what did you say for the result, Jack?
I haven't said mine yet. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 1-0 Peterborough.
There's gonna join Liam and Harvey England. Yeah, I'm the only one who's predicting a Port Vale win. Oh God, I could be in the mud this week, boys. I could be in the mud this week.
You're already pessimising yourself. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, but why not? Oh, lovely game. What a lovely
Come
game
on,
to have
Sheffield Wednesday, batter the buggers.
No, this will be a draw, I reckon.
To be fair, if Wednesday don't win, that'll help us anyway in the table.
Previous result: 3 wins, 1 draw, 2 wins.
I think
Wednesday
a 1-1.
Very inconsistent, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we played them last week. We didn't play particularly well, but I mean, I wasn't really impressed with either team. It might just be kind of the occasion, it was sort of billed as, the 2 favourites for the league, but I wasn't particularly impressed with them. Wickham do seem, although they have a good record at Hillsborough, they do seem like the kind of team who could probably go there and get a result, maybe.
Wait, did Burn Albion beat Sheffield Wednesday? What the fuck?
Yeah, EFL Trophy.
Yeah, Trophy midweek.
Oh, mad. Okay. The more you know. I'm gonna go for. I just think I'm gonna go for 1-1 draw. Screw it.
I'm going to also go for 1-1. I think I'm not quite at the point where I think Wickham will do it, but they're a sort of ideal team to frustrate. And I think the game last week, the home, the home crowd got quite frustrated, and they're the kind of team that I think can do that.
I'm gonna go 2-2.
Oh, we're all going for the draws here.
Yeah, I think a draw would be a good outcome for Plymouth, but I also think it's realistic.
It would be, yeah, realistic.
Oh shit, my bad. I think a draw is like a realistic outcome.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Liam?
2-1 Wednesday.
Oh, you had to ruin it, didn't you, with a bloody win?
Crikey.
Well, they're talking about Gareth Ainsworth taking the Rotherham job. So if he does go, then I don't know who the hell Wickham's going to hire.
Yeah.
Ian Holloway.
Imagine if they hired Wayne Rooney.
Nah, because Wayne Rooney's managing DC United now, ain't it?
True.
Yeah, so he's.
I think they'd hire like a snake, like Ian Holloway or something.
Oh, of course. I wouldn't be surprised.
They probably would, and that'll make my away trip next weekend.
Oh my god.
More hateful.
No, wait. What if they get Ryan Lowe? Ryan Lowe's on the verge of losing his job at Preston.
Is he genuinely about to get sacked?
Rightly so.
Well, that's what I've heard. Anyway, I've heard that he's not doing too well.
I hope he does go there, so then we can play against him.
I did find that move a little bit strange, only because I think at a team like Preston, obviously, they're a division higher than Argyle, but a team like that doesn't really have a lot of money. There's not really kind of much. It's kind of similar to whoever takes a Rotherham job now. There's not really much higher you can go with the resources. So all you're going to kind of do is try and stay up and maybe get mid-table until one year you eventually underperform, get sacked and you haven't really got anything to show for it in terms of promotions or big achievements. So I was a little bit surprised. I think a lot of it from what the media was saying was a bit of the, sort of moving back up north and all of that. But I think Preston.
Well, yeah, it's because he got caught shagging a cleaner, didn't he? He got caught shagging a cleaner, and his missus like, you need to go up north. So.
Okay. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. But this game, what do you say, Liam?
2 on Wednesday.
No. Oh, you didn't. Yeah, but for this game.
Oh, for this game.
What are they both?
Oh, 10 pot. Yeah.
There you go. Because you said it last week against for Shrewsbury. They're both tin pot. But to be honest, realistically speaking, for this game, no. I just think Shrewsbury could probably bounce back.
I'm going 2-0 Shrewsbury.
2-0 Shrewsbury. Okay.
Yep.
But I might go for a 1-0 Burton Albion win. Why do I feel?
Go ahead, Arf.
Why do I feel like that? 1-0 Burton Albion.
I'll go 2-1 Burton.
2-1.
I was actually, when we
Burton.
played them a few weeks ago, when we played them a few weeks ago, I was actually quite impressed with them. They caused us quite a lot of problems and probably on balance of play deserved to get a point. I mean, they played really well, and obviously we've signed him since, and I did wonder if maybe that was part of the thinking. But I mean, again, obviously it's only a 1-game sample, but I didn't think they looked as poor as the table suggested against us. And obviously they picked up a little bit, had a couple of wins in the trophy, and obviously won Exeter as well. And I just didn't think Shrewsbury are, again, they're quite hit and miss, and I do think that Burton kind of have it in them. I think from what I've seen, their record away is better than it is at home anyway. And there's not really a great deal of atmosphere at Shrewsbury, so it seems like the sort of place where they could maybe spring a surprise. So
I've
yeah,
been
2-1
to
Burton.
Shrewsbury's ground before for excuse me. I've been to Shrewsbury. I can't speak. I've been to Shrewsbury's ground before.
I went there last year.
Their atmosphere,
attendances are pretty poor there, aren't they?
Their atmosphere I thought was average. Like there were a group that were really good, and then there was just others that were quiet as.
Yeah, we won 3-0 when I went.
But, so we got Harvey England and Jack for the Shrewsbury versus Burton Albion result.
Oh,
you go first.
2-1.
2-1.
Oh, Shrewsbury 2-1.
2-1 Shrewsbury.
I'm going to back Shrewsbury as well. I'm going to go 2-0 Shrewsbury.
2-0 Shrewsbury. Okay. But yeah, for I'd say that basically does kind of round up the League One predictions, really. But if we head back to the table, there we go. We got the table right here. So Ipswich first, then from so on, Portsmouth second, and we are third. But throughout this season, I think this would be a very, very interesting season, because I could see there being one team that you would think they would finish, that you would think that they would finish high, but they'd finish a lot lower than expected. Like Wickham, for instance. I feel like they could finish pretty low this season.
MK Dons, another one.
MK Dons, another one, yeah. But
I was speaking to Jack the other day, and we were both comparing what we kind of did as our 1 to 24s at the start of the season.
Yeah, we were.
And I think MK Dons was the one I thought they would, probably get in the playoffs again, because they've got quite a good record of recruitment that obviously hasn't, or at least at the moment, it's not panning out that way. I don't think, but in terms of the top 6, I don't think there are any major surprises. I mean, I didn't think Portsmouth would start as well as they did, but again, I thought they'd be around sort of, somewhere between sort of 5th and 8th, something like that. So again, it's not a huge difference from where I thought they'd be. I guess Cambridge and Lincoln are the ones that are up there who you maybe wouldn't have expected to. But again, I think there's quite a lot of, once you take probably the top 3 teams out of the equation, the middle of the table is quite congested. I mean, Lincoln had 2 wins, didn't they? But before that, I think they were think they're only like 19.
They were just hovering above the relegation zone, yeah.
And they've just from 2 wins, they've completely shot up the table. So it does show that there's quite a big gap between that middle. And I mean, in terms of how Ipswich's season panned out last year, we were on the opposite end of that. We had such a poor start that, after 6 games, we were, I think, already about 7 points, 8 points off the playoffs or something crazy like that. And it does show that, especially after last season, the sort of crazy total it took to get in the top 6, kind of going back to that thing that I said at the start about 2 leagues split into 1, or 1 league split into 2. I think that some of the teams like MK Dons, Oxford, teams that would have expected to do quite well at the start of the season, they're going to really struggle to kind of keep the pace. I think maybe that, they're probably playing for sort of 5th or 6th at this point, even at this early stage.
Yeah.
People forget though also that I know they were disappointing last season, but the season before, Lincoln were in the playoff final against Blackpool, which I know they lost, but they can be a bit of a surprise at the same time. But I just want to point out that Jacob is the biggest legend for this, by the way, because when I looked at Jacob's predictions, guess where Jacob predicted Argyle? 2nd, just like myself. So that is just a win.
Argyle above town.
2nd is promotion, and so that's brilliant as it stands. As it is.
All right. Is this a deal? Can we have you on every single time now for saying that?
I'm happy to do the return fixture anyway, if that's something obviously the way off. I'm not sure when it is, but yeah,
no worries.
Are you going to Portman Road this season? Because I'm really hoping I'm going to try and do everything I can to go Portman Road in January.
Yeah, I've tried and go at some point. Probably won't be that Plymouth game, but I'll try and go. I'll try and go at some point. It's obviously
fair enough.
Being down here, it's quite hard to do it. But I've got a few aways planned in. Hopefully Exeter, Bristol Rovers. Maybe I did Oxford last season. Maybe that one again, but possibly Wickham. But we'll have to see. I'm sure if we're doing well. Not that you can really be a glory supporter supporting Ipswich, but I'll make extra effort if say we are in a position where we are fighting in around the top 2.
Just when you go to Exeter, just chant for to Exeter. My gardener's chair's bigger than this, so yeah.
Yeah, I think there are quite a few. I think that chant has kind of come out a few times in certain League One grounds. So
yeah,
definitely not ours.
Where we're going in?
I said definitely not ours, because ours isn't a garden shed.
No, I do like Home Park. I think it's one of those. It's quite nicely situated ground, isn't it? It's it's a little bit out of the way, but not too much, and it's it's a nice, much nicer walk through ground.
Best stadium in the world, mate.
I agree with you.
Apart from the food prices in our stadiums a disgrace, but apart from
that, you just get a pasty beforehand instead, or go
about, Liam? What are you talking about? I get 50% off. That's a great deal.
Yeah, it's you.
What do you mean it's me?
You work there, so
yeah, cool. Sick one. Yeah. I got mine for free the other week, so good on me. But
you're hard.
Yeah, you're hard. But for the bottom half of the table. For some of the teams that you wouldn't expect. So some of the teams that you wouldn't expect.
Just before you say something, when you said, I got it for free. I got it for free. You have to put that in as well. Oh, you're hard, because that actually makes sense. Carry on.
Oh, for God's sake. But for the bottom half of the table, though, some of the teams you wouldn't expect to be down here, like Oxford, MK Dons, Wickham Wanderers, and Charlton.
I will be honest, though. I just wanted to put out there. I will be honest. MK Dons actually isn't a surprise for me to a certain extent. I know I had them to finish 9th, but after the way they sold Scott's Wine and Darling, and I didn't see. And I know Jacob was saying that they usually get good recruitment, but when I saw those two go, and I didn't see the void that they filled straight away, I thought I don't think they're going to be anywhere near as high as the top half. So it doesn't surprise me they're in 18th. Wickham and Oxford are the 2 surprises for me.
Yeah.
I think Charlton's
not a surprise because they finished 13th last season. I had them 12th this season, again mid-table, and I've literally seen all summer before the season began, and even during the early stages, Charlton fans just all saying, oh, if we finish sixth, because someone had Charlton in the playoffs, and they said, oh, if we finish sixth, I'll take that any day of the week. That'll be amazing.
I think with MK, like Twine has a, in terms of individual performances, in the sort of 3 seasons we've been down, I don't think there's been any player who's had a season, quite as good as his. And, again, it's obviously, I won't dwell on it too much. It won't be something that you'd be reminded of. But in terms of individual performance, that game at Home Park at the end of last season, I don't think I've seen anyone sort of dominate a game and have as much impact on a game as that at this level. And I guess probably with the, they may kind of still come good. And like I said, I think their recruitment, usually is quite good, but having a player with that many goals, that many assists, losing them, it is quite a tough act to follow. And I guess with the club like MK Dons, they won't have the smallest budget in the league, but not going to be the biggest. They're probably won't be able to sign the types of players that ourselves and Sheffield Wednesday and probably Portsmouth can. That's why having that recruitment is so important. And at the moment, it doesn't look like it's paying off.
Yeah. And also, I'm going to add on to that as well. Another team that you would probably think that would be a little bit lower, but later on the season, I think it will change. But Port Vale in 13th.
Yeah, they'll go down a little bit lower, I reckon.
I
think Darryl Clark's a good manager, though.
Yeah.
I do agree, yeah.
I had Fleetwood, Port Vale, Morecambe and Accrington Stanley to go down. I know Fleetwood is wrong already because of how brilliant their start is. I had Burton 14th, and look at them now.
Mate, 22 goals conceded. 22.
Well, I mean, Bristol Rovers will go over 20 if they do the same this weekend.
Yeah, true. But,
if we don't score 2 past Burton away, I'm be fuming.
At least last season as well.
Do you want me to try? I don't know if I'll be able to find it. I don't think I'll be able to find it. Don't worry.
Wait, what are you trying to find?
Burton versus Plymouth. The previous results, but I think we already know some of the results. So don't worry.
Well, I know I could try and find it on here if you want. I know we drew 0-0 with them last season away, which wasn't good for us at all. At home,
we beat them 1-0, or was it 2-0? I can't remember.
We beat them 2-1. We beat them 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah. Nice.
It was Cambridge we drew 1-1 with at home. We never get someone against Cambridge, do we?
No. All right. Do you think this is a perfect time to end it here?
Mm-hmm.
Or if we've got any more questions?
I'm trying to think of a question now.
Let's get the question out before we end. Or if you can think of it, we'll end it.
It'll be before. I know it's 2 weeks early, Jacob, but may as well throw this in there. How confident? I know. We haven't had your game against us yet, but how confident are you as it stands next week against Pompey at home?
Ooh, okay.
I think it's going to be a really unpleasant game to watch. Like we played them last season. At Portman Road, the 0-0 draw, it kind of went as you expect. Like Danny Cowley kind of winding the crowd up, did it quite successfully. Portsmouth defend. I think Portsmouth will kind of come to get a point because they're doing just as well as us. And again, all these top sides playing against each other, you probably would take a point away from home. I think they'll probably do that. I think we do. I mean, we're getting better at it this season, but we do kind of struggle to break teams down a little bit. And I think that's why the Wednesday game, although obviously it didn't come out with the result that we wanted, but
you'll struggle to break us down.
It did kind of play into our hands a little bit, whereas I think Portsmouth will probably be a bit more savvy to that. So yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it was 0-0 last season. I wouldn't be surprised if it was again. To be honest, I don't think it's going to be a pleasant watch. I think there's going to be a lot of there'll probably be a lot of time with the ball out of play, all the rest of it. Yeah.
I know they'll be fired up as well because obviously they got their game against Bolton postponed this weekend as well.
Yeah, they don't have to play. They don't have to play a game. But do you know what I say though? And I'm going to say this right now, and I think that some people will be like either agree with me or disagree. But I'd rather have my games played than have games. Than games like, how do you say it? I can't remember how you say that.
Postponed?
No, not postponed, but
Points on the
And
board.
move for things like internationals.
Yeah.
But we had that the first season we came down, so we had our record at the start of the season was crazy. I mean, it was something like 8 wins, 3 draws. But we had a few players on international breaks. We built
games
up
in hand.
a
There
lead.
we go. Said it now.
Yeah, games in hand. We
Yeah,
built
but
up a
some-
lead of about 5 or 6 points, and we were starting postponing these games. And eventually, we just had such a big pile up. I mean, that and sort of just general sort of mismanagement. But I think we kind of learned in that first season that it is, unless you are missing a lot of players, it probably is better to just get the games played and keep momentum going.
I mean, the more games Pompey have in hand, the better, to be honest, because they always bottle it with games in hand.
They have got a big squad though, like especially in attacking options. I think if they're one of the few squads that probably can cope with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But yeah, I would still lean towards if it was my choice, getting games played.
Yeah, because it always happens with because I think it happened to us. Did it happen to us last year, or did it happen to us the year before, where we did have quite a lot of games in hand, and I just felt like, why didn't we just get the bloody games played instead of just having games in hand? When and then it's just played. Then it's just weird in my honest opinion, and I just don't like that. But what can you do? What can you do really? Because but
because we've got Sheffield Wednesday on the Tuesday night. But to be honest, if we can somehow beat them, we should be beating Accrington on that following.
It's an easy road ahead, like I said.
That's what I'm worried about, though, is that it's an easy road ahead. But knowing it's not just Argyle, it could happen to anyone. Ipswich, Pompey, Sheffield Wednesday, Bolton, Derby. I won't be surprised if in one of those games between Wickham away and Exeter at home, we drop points.
To me,
there's always a game. I think,
there's always
especially.
One game,
we have an easy.
I mean, when we came down, we had. I mean, it usually happens for the kind of. It's again not the Plymouth team sort of dropping down from the Championship, but I think every time a big club drops down, there's always and you get it with teams dropping into non-league as well. They'll lose to a team which is kind of much smaller, really small ground, kind of horrible place to play. Ours was after that amazing start, in our first season down, 8 wins, 3 draws. We went to Accrington, lost 2-0. That was a Sunday game on Sky.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Our record on Sky is awful, so that's probably another
same
thing
as
that
ours.
goes into our goals favour on Sunday.
Convinced Sky Sports was the reason we didn't get
those results.
So there's been some sneaky stuff with Sky Sports and MK Dons then, and Plymouth.
Yeah, that was the fault.
There's some going on behind the scenes.
And as the game on Halloween, as the derby on Halloween is on Sky as well, and it's at Home Park. What's the Sky commentators and media team all be biased towards Exeter, just to give them that sympathy, just because they're away?
Oh,
well, Exeter's going to get bad.
Fuck off, ain't it?
Exeter's going to get turned over bad.
Yeah, they're just going to get swept aside.
It's literally going to be men v boys out there.
They'll be up for an away win for definite, but it'll surely be a Plymouth 6.
Jack, I am sure you are an op man. You are.
You what?
What do you mean? What are you on about saying Exeter's going to be up for it? No, mate.
I meant they'll go for an away win, but it will be a 6-1 Plymouth win, no matter what.
I'm disappointed with you again, mate. Again.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
All I wanted to do was finish, but there we go.
That's it, fine. I'm turning it round, mate. I'm turning it round. I'm not dealing with this. No. I'm the bigger person.
Alright, we got the title confirmed now.
I think after this video, Jack could go to bed and cry.
I do that every night anyway.
Anyway.
Lovely. But
well, for Jack, it'd be me teeth gone burnt. But it's all right. It's all right.
What a perfect way.
Thank fuck for that.
Quality.
What a perfect way to end, though, boys. But
anyway, Jack, have you had your tea yet? Because of interest.
No, some of it's still here. So I know I'm going to be hungry. I've had some of it anyway. So I've had some fuel.
He's waiting to talk to his boyfriend Alex.
I know.
But anyways,
he's not denying it. Ipswich at heart, he is. Ipswich at heart.
No wonder he's in a
Hello,
hotel room
darkness,
by
my old
himself.
friend.
Oh, Jack.
Anyway,
All right. Anyways, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. This was a pretty heated video, and it was a bit of beef, but but a bit of.
Oh no!
excitement
That's
for
what
the-
the snowflakes say, Harvey. That's what the snowflakes say, and then
That
they
is
still
true.
get
That is
hate
what
for
the
it no matter
snowflakes
what.
say. That is what the snowflakes say. But I'm gonna add it to the title, and then we get more views. Simple as that.
It's just friendly banter between an Argyle and Ipswich fan.
Yeah. But, from the
Yeah,
past
might
couple
be-
videos,
yeah,
though,
maybe a better title.
yeah, from the past couple videos, though, our support has been crazy. And from our last video yesterday, we instantly gained another 4 subs. We're on 75 subs on the channel, over 5,000 channel views. Incredible support. But anyways, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Jacob, for coming on. It's absolutely brilliant for you coming on as the Ipswich side, getting your thoughts on what this game could bring us on
Argyle
Sunday.
win.
Argyle
Yeah.
win.
No problem.
And also thank you, Liam, Harvey,
No
England,
worries.
Jack. Always amazing to have you on. But thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you in the next.
Laptop didn't die this time.
That's a positive.
It's-
Right. But anyways, we'll see you next time. Green Army in the chat or in the comments. We'll love to see that.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
bye bye.
Positive
the
comments
Argyle.
only. Positive comments only.
Bye bye.
Jack's an Ipswich fan.
When they pull on the green, they're all Janners. Janners!